Hello, my name is Bidoofs, and this one I'm going to show you my first Pokemon ROM hack titled Pokémon Emerald, Oops All Bidoofs. In this one, I replaced the sprites and names of every Pokemon with Bidoof while allowing them to retain their original typing and stats. This hack has Pokemon from Gen 1 through 8 with modern mechanics and items. I've also reworked every gym leader in the Elite Four to have more competitive teams. I also added competitive items for the user to purchase in the Pokemart in Oldale Town. This includes items like the Choice Band and Choice Specs, but also ability shading items and heart scales for the Move Tutor, who has also been relocated to Oldale Town. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really sure if this one is actually beatable, because I haven't done it yet. So if you want to give it a try, the download link is in the description. Anyway, for this preview, I wanted to show off the first gym leader, Roxanne. For her team, I went with the squad of Lead Nosepass with Thunder Wave, Stealth Rock, Volt Switch, and Rock Tomb. Hisuian Growlithe with Flame Wheel, Will-O-Wisp, Rock Blast, and Morning Sun. I went with a more defensive set for Growlithe because it doesn't get the moves that the Rockhead ability would benefit from until much later in the game. And I thought it would be kind of cheap for this point in the game for it to be firing off 150 base power head smashes without any drawback. I also have Archon with Acrobatics, Rock Slide, Stealth Rocks, and U-Turn. And then finally, the GOAT Leap with Leech Seed, Mega Drain, Mud Shot, and Ancient Power. With the teams I created, I wanted to try to cover the weaknesses the type has with at least one Pokemon. For water, I have Storm Drain Leap. For grass, I have Leap, Archon, and Hisuian Growlithe. For fighting, it would be nice to have a Rock Ghost type, but that doesn't exist, so I have Archon. And for ground, I have Archon and also Leap. So now that I've talked about the team, let's see how I beat it. For my playthroughs, I like to play with a level cap that equals the gym leader and not use items in battle. But for this one, I also added the restriction of not being able to use more Mons than my opponent. So for this fight, I went with Lombre, Wingull, Poochyena, and my starter Trico. I opened with Lombre because it doesn't really do anything into her team, so I'm fine with it getting paralyzed by the Nosepass. I alternate Bubble and Absorb because sometimes the AI likes to switch to Storm Drain Leap when I use Bubble too many times in a row. The Nosepass goes down relatively easily, but not before paralyzing my Lombre and setting up Stealth Rocks. This is pretty bad for my team because the Wingull is my main water type attacker and it is weak to Stealth Rocks. After that, the Archon comes out, who is a freaking demon. I get a lucky Rock Slide miss from the Archon, and Water Pulse puts it in Defeatist range and powers up Acrobatics. Unfortunately, some idiot gave it a Citrus Berry, which gets it out of Defeatist range. I then go for another Water Pulse, which puts it back into Defeatist range, and my Wingull survives on 3 HP. I got really lucky here because at the start of the turn, the Archon saw a kill with both Acrobatics and Rock Slide, and it randomly chose to use Acrobatics over Rock Slide. But because my Water Pulse put it into Defeatist range, Acrobatics no longer kills. And if it had chosen Rock Slide instead, that would have killed, even while it is in Defeatist range. Next, the Hisuian Growlithe comes out and dies to a single Water Pulse. This is definitely the weak link of the team, but I barely won this fight, so I'm hesitant to change this. Finally, the Leap comes out, and this is actually the only reason I picked Trico, because of this Leap. The Leap is kind of walled by most grass types because its gimmick is to set up Leech Seed, get leftovers, drain things down, stay healthy. So the strategy for this one is to get it to -6 with Leer and then finish it off with Poochyena and hope for some Blight flinches. Wildly, Bite is not actually a one-shot on the Leap, even after it is -6. So that's how I did it. If you end up playing this, let me know what route you ended up taking for beating this gym leader. Thanks, and goodbye.